Hey, this is James from CodeWP, and in this video we're going to take a look at the new Elementor dynamic tags mode. We're going to create a generation and install it into an Elementor website. So this should give a good overview of the capabilities as well as the process of installing this code snippet generated by our platform. So first things first, we need to launch into the Elementor dynamic tag mode. If you're on the YouTube video, first link in the description brings you right here. You can read more about the mode, how to use it, some examples of what it's going to generate, prompt examples, and then click launch mode. If you're like me and always in the editor, you can go into here, do Command M, or click that little button down there, and then click into Elementor dynamic tags, and that will load the mode, and any prompt that you create will create a tag now. So for this example, I haven't created this yet, but I have kind of thought through this demo, and I want to give a demo of using an API to pull in third-party data into an Elementor tag, because I think it gives a good overview of the power of, number one, the dynamic tags themselves, but also number two, the generation and AI that we have over at CodeWP. So I looked up a big list of free APIs. I found one called Exchange Rate API. No need for a key, no need for a sign up. If we click into this, the response will be something like this, and it will give us the currency conversion rate between two currencies. So in this example, the base is the US dollar, and we can convert to any one of these currencies here, and this is kind of an accurate, up-to-date version of the exchange. So I think this is a great idea to create a generation for. We're switched into the Elementor mode. I'm going to create my prompt now and think through what I want. So I want to create a tag that displays the conversion rate between two currencies, which means the user is going to need to enter the two currencies. I want the user to enter whatever currency they want, so they should type in the code instead of do like a select between four. And I also want to use that specific API. So let's create the prompt. Between two currencies, I'll remove that. The currencies, user types in the base and convert, and we'll give an example, say USD, so they know I'm going to just type in that kind of descriptor of the three characters of that currency, and then also use this. And I'll do this as the base. Alright, so now we've specified that we want to use this API, because if we don't, it'll probably use another one. Two currencies, they're going to type in the base. Alright, let's create the generation and see what happens. So as this process occurs, it's going to take around 10 to 30 seconds. The more complex the prompt is and the more complex your output is, the longer it takes to generate. It's going to make two files for us. The first file is going to be the registration file. The second file is going to be the actual tag itself. And if we jump over here, you can see kind of reading through this documentation of the dynamic tags, which is linked in the description of this video as well. Clicking into an example, it'll show how to install one of these tags. So this is going to be file 1 where we register things. File 2 is the actual tag. The structure is we're going to create a plugin, new folder. Within that is going to be the kind of registration main PHP file. Within that is going to be a dynamic tags folder, and then in that folder are going to be all of our tags. Now we can create multiple tags and use this structure to install multiple tags into our Elementor site. So let's go and see if the generation is done. Yes, it is. You can see in the file comments, file 1, file 2, as I just discussed, and file 2 is within the folder. Everything kind of matches up. You can see when I highlight, it matches between the files. The class names match. Everything's good to go. Because this is a plugin, you need to add your plugin comments. This kind of just creates a reminder for you to do that instead of actually doing it for you. But I'll show you a quick workaround for that. So first, let's make our folder. And this is going to be in the WordPress content, plugins, and then within plugins we'll do CodeWP tags, for example. We'll do the initial file, and I'm going to copy and paste all of the names because the names match up from the generation. So file 1 is this. Be sure to include your opening PHP tag. Save that. I'm also going to jump over and just, as a placeholder, copy and paste this. And then I'm going to change this so it's not confusing, CodeWP dynamic tags. So that's our initial plugin file. I'm going to make the folder dynamic tags. Dynamic tags. There's supposed to be an S, so we have to remember to change that. So make it dynamic tags, new file. And be sure to copy these names because they're referenced within the code. And then I'm going to give it a quick once over and see if it got everything that I wanted just looking at this text. So this is good, this is good, this is good. It should work. So now we have our big new plugin. We've created our generations. Now it's time to test. So I have this site, and this site is a staging site, locally hosted, using local by Flywheel. You should not install any of this onto a production website, because if you do and there's a syntax error or another issue and you click activate, it might give you a white screen of death. In this situation it didn't. In most situations it won't, because CodeWP is optimized to check for security and syntax and essentially create the most accurate, secure generations possible for an AI, specifically tailored to WordPress, but it's always important to test on a staging site. So I'm going to hop into here. I believe I already have a testing exchange rate demo page. Click edit with Elementor to load it up, and I'll just add a new text element. Go here, here are our dynamic tags. Scroll down, you can see we've created a new group called CodeWP dynamic tag, currency conversion tag. Click into that. Check out our functions, USD, EUR. There's the conversion rate. Very quick, very simple, very easy. I didn't need to go buy an add-on plugin. I didn't need to go buy another plugin or install another plugin. I just created a little tiny snippet add-on plugin for Elementor, installed those 2 files generated by AI in about, say, 20 seconds, and gave it a double check on a local staging site that this is working as it should. And we can do other currency codes as well. So that is the yen. Maybe, I don't really know any other 3-digit codes, but as you can see, it's working. Let's do instead of this, JPY to EUR. And there you go. So as you can see, everything's working perfectly. We have the base currency converting to the conversion currency. We have the other dynamic tag features, so we can say conversion rate, stuff like that. So I hope this gave you a good overview of the thought process behind creating a prompt for a dynamic tag, actually generating it, and then installing the 2 files onto a site. This creates the same code that you'll find in the developer documentation, so you can review this video, you can read through this documentation. Everything you see here will be very similar because it's the same code structure. All you need to know is that this is kind of the way to do it instead of the traditional way of generating with AI and then installing it into a snippet plugin. You'll need to do it this way because we're referencing different PHP files to actually create and register the tags. So it needs to be a little plugin like this. But as plugins go, this is probably the simplest structure you could ever have, and it's pretty step-by-step. Elementor gives great instructions on how to do it. I hope this video was also helpful, which will be linked in the dynamic tags mode right here. If you're ever confused, you can also click into here, go here, and then say click to open the info page for this mode. You'll get right back to this video. Alright, hopefully that was helpful. I hope you enjoy the new dynamic tags mode. It's really fun to play around with, really fun to kind of see what you can think about creating and then actually make it. For example, we've created a real-time stock price dynamic tag, a real-time Bitcoin price, real-time Google rating. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things you can do here. And this is the first Elementor mode of many more to come, including widget creation, stuff like that. All right, enjoy.